Hi, M. Harita, second year CSC B section, Adi Shankara Institution of Technology. Register number is 578. OS Tech Talk. File allocation method. Abstraction today computer is an integral part of human life. The storage of large amount of data permanently is computer. System files is used in this research paper. We discuss the file, that is allocation of records or information storage on secondary storage such as hard disk. In computing, a file system is used to control how data is stored and received. The file system controls the file starting and ending location. The information present in the file can be accessed using access method. In file, anytime data is failure with hardware problems for solution file system, providing protection with access kilograms of users. In files, secondary storage space is allocated using file allocation method. This allocation space in such a manner so that disk space is utilized effectively and files can be accessed quickly. Directly structure is use symbol table of files that stores all the related information about the file. It holds with the controls. Keywords: file system, file production, file access method, file allocation method. Dictionary structure. Introduction. File is a logical collection of information stored on secondary storage such as hard disk. It is collection of records physically. A file is smallest allotment of secondary sequence of logical records such as sequence of bits and bytes. File can be used to contain the data and program. Data files can be numerically, abstractly, or binary. A file has various attributes like names, types, locations such as protections, information in several physics forms. Depending on which storage device is used, disks and drums through are the most common devices for the purpose. Since each device has its own character and physical organization, different views of information are created to uniform all these views of information in the system. A uniform logical view it was created. The logical view is called a file. It is the job of the OS map, the sequence of words in the physical device. The part of the OS responsible for this is the file system. It is clear and mainly objectives of the file system is to free the user of the details of string the storage device in changed from disk to DRAM of. For example, the user still sees the same information as before the change. If this allowed in the system, then we can say that the file system device dependent. File system. In comparison, a file system is used to control how data is stored and retrieved without a file system information phased in a storage area would be one large body of data with no way to tell where one piece of information stop and the next beginning. By separating the data into individual pieces and giving each piece a name, the information is easily separated and identified. Taking its name from the way paper-based information system are named each group of data is called a file. The structure and logical rules used to mainly the group of information and their name is called file system. There is many different kinds of properties of speed, flexibility, security, size and more files devices. Each storage device uses a different kinds of media. The most common storage device in the use today is hard disk, whose media is a disk that has been coated with a magnetic file. The film has 1 and 0 written on a sending electrical pulse, a magnetic read write read. Other media that are used are magnetic type optical disk and flash memory. The file system manages access to both the content of files and the media about those files. It is responsible for arranging storage space, flexibility, efficiency, and turning with regarding to the physical storage medium are important decisions consideration. Access method of files. Files are used to storage data. The information present in the file can be accessed by various methods. Thus, the way of reflecting data from a file is known as access method. Different systems use different access methods. The various methods used are sequence access, direct access, indirect access, sequential access. It is the simplest and most common used access method in the system. In the file is accessed in the order is stored in the file. File one recorder after the other. The various records are read sequentially one after the other in an order, starting at the beginning to the end of the file. The various records cannot be read randomly out of order. We cannot skip any order in between. For example, reading of 34 recorders followed by 5 records and then I record is the possible in sequential access. A read operation records the next operation of the file and automatically advance the file pointer. Similar, a write operations to the end of the file and the file. Similarly, a write appendance to the end of the file and file pointer. Similar, a write appendance to the end of the file and advance to the end of the newly written material. Such as file can be reached to the beginning on some system. A program may be available to swim forward or backward and record for some. A file sequence access is based on TAP model of a file sequence access in converted when the storage medium is magnetic type rather than a disk. Direct access. Indirect access method is possible to access the records of a file is any order. For example, if the reading both 13, we can read back 46 after this and then back 20. Various records are reading or writing randomly. Directly access is based on a disk model of file. For direct access, the file is viewed as a numbered sequence of the block or recording. A direct access file allocation attribute block to be a read or write. Thus, after block 18 has been reading, block 57 could be rest and the block 3 there is no recently on the order of reading and writing for a direct access file. Indexed access. In the method, an index is created for the file. This index contains pointer for various blocks of a file. Just just like an index in the block of the block. If we can want to find a record of a file First, we index in sequence and the pointer from the index is found. The axis method is a slight modification of the direct axis method. It is in fact a combination of both of the sequence axis as well as directory. The main concept to access the files direct. The access method involves maintaining an index. The index is a PowerPoint to block the access a record in a file. A direct access of the index made. The information obtained from this access used to access the file. For example, the direct access to file will give the block address block address, and within the block the records is accessed sequentially. Sometimes individual may be big, so inheritance and index are built in the which one directly and so on it till the actually file is accessed. Advanced in the type of access is that both directions are sequentially access of file possible. Thanks.